We talk a lot on this channel about letting go, breaking from old paradigms, and doing a lot of inner healing work. But why do we want to clear all that old energy away? Well, we must clear away the old energy so that we have room to bring in new energy. And in this video, I am going to tell you how and why we do that. Stay tuned. Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Carrie Cox and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please hit the red subscribe button below and smash that bell notification button so that you can be notified when future videos are released. A lot of people are carrying around blocks in their solar plexus, which is keeping them stuck in the 3D. Our solar plexus is where our ego is, and it's all about the self. These are denser and heavier energies, and when we can learn to let go of those dense and heavy energies, it can uplift us and raise our vibration to higher levels where we're able to see a different perspective. There is no right or wrong here or better, but it opens opportunity for more awareness and higher levels of consciousness. That would be the purpose into letting go of those lower vibrations and trying to raise our vibration to higher levels. It widens our view of the world around us and of life and the purpose in even being here. It is all of our birthrights to become sovereign beings and to let go of these past attachments and to move forward and to grow and to develop. Ultimately, we have the right and the free will to choose to be a sovereign being. We are all born open-hearted and free. And it is in those first 7 years of life, those first 7 formative years, that really shapes us into how we are going to be in the future. We can choose to go on a path where we actually go back to that state we were born with when we were completely open-hearted and we didn't have all these attachments and traumas and wounds. We can actually go back to that state of being through our own development and growth. We had started gaining attachments to other people through our experiences in life, and it's through those attachments that's really weighing us down and holding us back from reaching those higher levels of vibration. And we were collecting energies through all of those experiences. It's really about breaking down those attachments. And in this video, I want to show you how you can do that and how you can become aware of what those attachments are and cut those cords so that you can become that free and sovereign being once again. When we are not aware of what's going on around us and we're just kind of living on autopilot, what we're doing is we're just giving in to the shadow sides of us. We are being triggered and reactive to those triggers. And it keeps us in these revolving and repeating patterns. You know, the patterns of our triggers is no different than on a emotional, mental level, is no different than what happens in the physical body. So I work a lot with people around trigger points, and trigger points are what cause physical pain in the body when we're having muscle pain and dysfunction. And a trigger point is a part of the tissue that isn't receiving oxygen anymore. It's painful to touch, and it starts tightening and shortening the muscle around it. It often is caused from repetitive patterns, physical repetitive patterns. So our physical body get caught up in these repetitive patterns, what put wear and tear on our muscles, and the same thing happens to us mentally and emotionally. We get caught up in these repeating patterns over and over again, and it starts to cause us to feel pain. It's the same thing, just one is on the level of the mind and one is on the level of the body, and they actually work together because trigger points also have this emotional component to them. So they're actually, the mind and body are connected and they're working together. The point I'm making is that it is through these patterns and habits that we have developed that is actually stunting our growth and keeping us more in that pain and suffering instead of being that free and sovereign being. So it's about letting go of all of these patterns and habits we have and allowing ourselves to flow with the natural rhythms of life. Most of us are trying to control our destiny, to control our life, to control our daily living, to control what happens to us. And it's that control that's actually keeping us in these lower vibrations. We cannot ascend when we're trying to control everything. We need to learn how to ebb and flow through life. We're not always going to be in the positive, smelling the sunshine and roses. We have to go through the light and the dark. And it's how we flow through that matters here. It's how we're handling those situations as they come up. Do you see a situation as a negative thing, or do you see it as an opportunity? I try to see every situation that happens to me in life as an opportunity for me to change and grow. The way I do that is I actually step back from a situation and I have learned how to observe it from a place of neutrality. You're observing it without emotion. You are looking at the pattern and the circumstances around it, and you are then seeing how you're going to break free from that. It's all opportunity for growth. You can't inject judgment in there either. It's not about you judging what is happening, but seeing it for what it is and then releasing it and letting go of it. So it really comes down to, we're never done letting go of things. We're constantly letting go of attachments because we're being attached to and we're being hooked into every day of our lives. So just because you sit and do, let's say, a cord cutting of all of your past doesn't mean you're not going to cut cords in the future. It's a continuous revolving cycle. It's going to be a little harder in the beginning to cut all those cords of the past because there's just so much more work involved. It gets easier in the future because there's less to let go of. So when we are stuck from that place of our solar plexus in the 3D, we have become victims of our own egos. And our ego was meant to keep us safe. And when we become more aware and we're more on our journey and on our path, we can then discern between what is ego and what is our own higher self guiding us. Our ego creates an illusion of separation within us. And this creates a lot of 3D patterns and habits and blocks that we have to identify so that we can release and let go of them. And the more of them we release and let go of, the more we raise our vibration past the 3D and more into the 4D, which is our heart. And that is where we start to open to love and to compassion and to joy. We don't feel those down here in the 3D in the solar plexus, because down there it's all about trying to keep us safe. It's not about coming from a place of love and compassion. It's about safety and security down there. So when we remove the block between the solar plexus and the heart, then we can come from looking at it from more of a neutral place, because the heart chakra would be more neutrality, whereas the 3D, the solar plexus, is keeping us in lower vibrations, more fear-based vibrations. We can't manifest the things that we want in life from the 3D place of solar plexus. We can only manifest from our heart space. So if you're really into the law of attraction and manifestation, it's really about learning how to open your heart so that you can feel that desired outcome from this heart space so that you can manifest it. When we're coming from a place of ego, we're not manifesting what we truly want. We may be manifesting what ego wants. Ego wants that false sense of security, so we're going to manifest a false sense of security for us, but we're not manifesting what our heart and what our soul is really desiring. When we're stuck in that solar plexus or in that ego, we have very fragmented energy. So that means pieces of our energy have been taken from us and are out there attached to other people, to habits, to patterns, to thoughts, to beliefs, so to lots of different egregores. And we want to take all those fragmented pieces back and bring them back to us so that we can heal our heart and open our heart. So when we cut cords or these attachments, we actually are retrieving pieces of ourself, of our fragmented energy that's been out there with other people, places, events. Think of all of these cords that are coming out of us as these magnetic cords that are keeping us attached or tethered to other people or situations, and realize that that's why these patterns keep repeating, because the cord is still there. So an example of this would be, let's say that you have a habit of attracting narcissistic people to you. And every person you meet has these narcissistic qualities, and you can't shake this pattern. Well, when you cut all of your attachments to all of those prior narcissistic people, and then you cut all of the cords that are drawing you to that pattern, then you're releasing that karmic pattern, and then you won't be drawing that to you in the future. So it's about identifying what these patterns or triggers are and then releasing them. So when I do cord cutting, when I did my cord cutting of all of my past, it was like, I want to cut cords to any person I've ever been romantically involved with, any person I ever maybe had a disagreement or an argument with, or, it was sitting down and coming into an awareness of, where do I need to let go of? What are the habits and patterns that I need to let go of? And then being very mindful and using intention to detach that cord, not only from me, but the other end of the cord too, from the other person. And then you want to take that cord and you want to dissolve it into unconditional love or bright white light, or however you want to see it. You want it to burn away and be unconditional love. And then we no longer are tethered to that person or situation anymore. And that magnetic draw that was there is no longer there. So we have freed ourselves from that pattern so that it will not keep repeating. That is how we disconnect ourselves from the attachment and then move forward. And when we do that to all kinds of things, we're freeing ourselves. What we're doing is, if I had a whole lot of cords attached to me, I'm creating now open space to allow an opportunity of something higher in vibration to come in, because there's space to come in. It's not cluttered with the attachments of my past. Does that make sense? All of these cords and attachments are weighing us down. It's baggage. Think of it as baggage to the past. It could even be baggage to the future if we're projecting too much into the future. So we don't want cords for the future, in a sense. We do want to make a plan for the future, and we want to write it down so that we can manifest it. But then we want to let go of it. We don't want to be attached to a certain outcome, because then that's us trying to control again. And we can't manifest what we're trying to control. We can only manifest from a place of the heart, which is neutral. It's that perfect blend of positive and negative energy. When we're letting go of attachments and we're cutting those cords from us, we're taking our power back, because we're getting those fragmented pieces of ourselves back. So think of it as, I'm calling my power back to me. When I do a cord cutting session with either myself or a client, I always give thanks to the person that I'm taking my power back from for holding on to my power all this time and for keeping it safe. Because that way I'm taking my power back with love and compassion. I'm not trying to do it from a place of lower vibration. And then sometimes some people have our cords and our power because we wanted to protect them. And so we've given pieces of ourself away in order to protect someone else. We have a tendency to want to do this with our kids. So we may have given them a piece of our energy because we want to protect them. But what we're doing is we're hindering them from really blossoming into their true potential. And so we want to take our power back even from them, so that not only can they flourish and blossom into who they're supposed to be, when we're carrying cords with them, we are trying to carry their burdens for them, and that isn't helping them grow. So we want to take our power back from them, and then also anyone else we've given it to, because it doesn't just have to be our kids, but a lot of times we'll try to protect people we care about, whether it's our friends or family members, or even just, it could even be strangers, because if you're a healer and you're somebody who's always trying to help everyone, this can go for clients or strangers as well. We don't want to have attachments to anyone. We want to take our power back. I see these attachments to other people as power hooks. So we're hooked into other people and they are drawing power from us. And some people are energy vampires and they will literally suck the power out of you. And you may have to continuously cut cords with them, especially if you have someone in your life, like let's say a narcissist. They are energy vampires and they will suck the life out of you. And so you may constantly have to be cutting that cord. Just because you cut the cord to them doesn't mean you don't have to cut the cord from them again. Every time they hook back into you, you're going to have to cut that cord. But you want to continuously cut this cord because they are going to continuously suck energy from you. Do you ever have that friend that maybe you go out and see every once in a while and afterwards you're just literally exhausted? They've talked about themselves the whole time. They were plugged into you, just drawing your power from you. Maybe you were giving them advice, but it doesn't even seem like they're really listening to you. They're just saying, yeah, whatever, yeah, But then they want to keep complaining and complaining and complaining. Those are energy vampires. Doesn't matter what you say to them, they're just going to keep taking and taking and taking. And you got to keep cutting that cord or they will literally suck the life out of you. They will draw all of your power away from you. And then in order for you to recharge your power, you're going to have to do something that recharges you, whether it's going out into nature or meditating or being alone for a while. So you want to disconnect their hook from you, that power hook, that cord, wherever you envision it on your body that they've hooked into you, you want to pull it out of you. Not only do you want to cut that cord from you when you're done seeing them, but you want to cut the other side of the cord that's on their side. Otherwise, that cord just finds its way back to you. So if you're going to cut the cord after you're with the person, you want to envision you pulling the cord from you, and then envision you pulling the cord from them, and then envisioning the cord turning into unconditional love, white light, however you want to see it. That way that cord can't find its way back. It'll be harder for that person to then hook back into you again. When we cut cords like that, this creates massive growth. And this is a powerful way to heal ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, and to open ourselves up to higher vibrations. So in order to take a stand, to break away, and to take your power back from others, you're going to have to do some sort of meditation where you do some sort of release of these attachments. But it's a really good idea to be cutting your own cords on a daily basis to get those surface cords released and detached, so you're getting more and more of your power back. And the more cords you release, the more you're going to make space for these higher vibrations to come in, which means higher vibrational opportunities, abundance, manifestations. All of that happen because you're opening the space to receive those higher vibrations. And there is a big shift happening right now on the planet where we're trying to shift the collective consciousness and move towards this new earth, which is more of a blend of masculine and feminine energies, more of a blend of positive and negative energies. Instead of the scales being so tipped, we want to be more in balance and harmony with these energies. And that's what the new earth looks like, that perfect blend of positive and negative, which brings unconditional love. And in order to be in this place of neutrality, where it's this perfect blend of positive and negative, this perfect blend of masculine and feminine, we have to be able to shift and change and go with the flow. We have to be able to ebb and flow through life without this need for control and these lower vibrational energies. When we cannot flow, we become stagnant. And when we become stagnant, we become blocked. And that's when we get stuck in those lower vibrational energies. When we resolve our issues and our attachments to the past, what we're doing is we're letting go of the shame, the guilt, the grief, the losses that we've experienced, and we are open to receive more energy from higher vibrational emotions, feelings, thoughts, things. And then we can bring in those energies of the 5D, which is the new earth. These higher vibrational energies are more like acceptance, reason, logic, willingness, love, peace, calm. Those are all higher vibrational ways of being. And when we release these attachments to these lower vibrational thoughts, then we can access these higher ones. And when we access these higher vibrations, we have this sense of power, and we're empowered to open our heart, to feel more connected to humanity, to other people, to our family. And the way to have resolution and move towards that is to cut your cords. Because when we cut the cords, we actually are cutting away darkness and bringing in more light. We are no longer losing our power to other people and to circumstances. In the universe, there's this infinite amount of power, which is that white light. There's infinite amounts. So there's always enough for us to bring in. It's just, do we have the space within us to bring it in? Or do we have too many cords and attachments in the way? It's kind of like, think of the inside of our body like the channel of our body. If we had all these cords within us, there wouldn't be enough space to bring that white light in, right? So think of it like a hoarder. If you think of a house that's totally hoarded and there's boxes everywhere, there's junk everywhere, there's stuff everywhere, you have no space to even bring light into the room because the light from the windows are blocked out from all of the clutter in the way. This is what's happening within us, is there's too much clutter with all those cords that are in the way, blocking the light from coming in. And then that light comes in through our crown chakra, through our channel, out our root chakra, and we want to circle that white light around so that it's always flowing through us. But if there's all these attachments in the way, clutter, there's blocks. The energy isn't flowing through us, it's blocked. So it's like a lot of boxes are in the way. So you remove the clutter in the boxes, now the light can flow through us. Okay? So I hope that helps you really get a visual for what's happening within us when we have these cords and attachments blocking us from receiving unconditional love from the universe, which will help us to experience joy, bliss, compassion, love, peace. When we clear away the clutter, we find peace. When you pull your cords, it's like a weight has been lifted off of you because you've let go of the baggage. And then we move from dark to light. You and your body will illuminate once you break free from the chains. So do a cord cutting meditation on yourself, break free from the chains, and stand in your power. Thank you, my beautiful friends. So it is.